Well, hey there, it's Nathalie, and I'm going to do you a little demo on Yupo, which is like a plastic paper, but a lot of art societies will accept Yupo as a substrate. And so for this, I've got the Yupo, and it's I think this is probably about 90 pound, and liquid watercolors. These are from Dick Blick, and I've got put the watercolors in spray bottles. Then I also have a sprayer of just plain water. I have a few texture tools. I've got some feathers. My feathers are a little bit on the old side, so they were kind of, anyway, you see the kind of flying there, kind of like the cat hair. This one is watercolor that's on Yupo paper. And you can see that I didn't have enough color or water underneath there. This is probably one of the pieces of lace that was on there, possibly, maybe. So lace is also a good texture for that. Now this one is Yupo, and this one is on watercolor paper. But I'm going to show you how to do this on the Yupo, and it would be the same technique on the watercolor, except that it dries faster. I can go back and touch this up, or I can make something out of this. So what I've done with my Yupo paper is I've taped it down. You can tape it down to like the back of like a canvas panel, something like this that's plastic coated. And you could tape it down to that to hold it secure. I've got some panels that I use for my watercolors, Masonite panels that are like shower board. You put your elements on. Oh, and I have some eyelash yarn. We seem to like that for that. Oh, and it's got a flyaway too. Extra texture. All right, so let's put some yarn down. And you could put the water on there first, but it would keep it from being so kind of wispy and fly away. So we'll get the yarn. We're not going to do the whole thing. We'll just do a little doolally of that. And then maybe not the whole feather. I'll put that in that little space right there. I'll put this one. And so let me show you. If you don't get good contact with your feather, when you lift it up, you get these white spots. And I'll put this one, this little bit. I think I'll put that, the back end of the feather right there. And kind of rearrange that just a tiny bit. And it's not going to be permanent on here. So if you get it wet, you know, or you don't like it, you can just wash it off and go again. So I'm going to use my little mister. I'm going to come up here so that it'll kind of fall down on it rather than spritzing it sideways. Now you could put the water on first and then put your things down. I just said that, but it kind of messes with the little fibers here. So I just want enough for it to kind of stick a little bit, and then I'm going to use my watercolors. I want to make sure those spines stick down good. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and give this a little spritz underneath to make sure that spine of that feather, or whatever, the shaft of that feather, sticks down. So these you need to, if it's a sunshiny day, it doesn't take them long to dry, but like right now, I'll probably just leave this in the studio out of the way of the cat and let it dry overnight. And I'm not going to do this whole thing in this color. So let's get maybe some red on one part of it. See if that'll come out. There we go. If you want to use gloves, use just some gloves. There's just some yellow. We'll put some yellow over on this corner. Get us a little fire action going over here. This one is down good. This one is kind of picking up just a little bit. So I'm going to put some more color on this. And that's totally optional. You do not have to like roll it or run it or... And see right here I'm getting a nice dark, and that may be desirable or not. These tapes are going to be really fun. I think I might put a little clip. I don't know whether it'll reach in far enough. Excuse my arm. Yeah, I'm going to put a little clip on that feather that'll push that. I don't know if you could see that. It pushed that spine down a little bit. Let me cut this off. Don't need all of that. Alright, we're going to set this aside and let it dry. Touch that feather, make sure that's good contact there. Got some color underneath it. So even if it lifts up, at least it'll have maybe a little bit of color underneath there. Well, it's not overnight, but it's been several hours and it's dry. So let's do a little reveal and see what this looks like. I bet this is going to be white underneath. Yep. That's pretty interesting though.